Before I start my little garden tour, I want to go ahead and say I did overcrowd everything in here because I didn't know any better, but I know better now. This is the first ever garden tour that I've ever given. Way back in the spring, Jeremy built me 2 raised beds, and he also built me these little garden beds. I'm not sure what you'd call them. And we filled them up with the compost that we made here on the farm. It kind of looks like a mess. This is towards the end of August, and everything is getting to end of season, and it looks like a jungle. When I planted my seeds, I was expecting them to just die because I wasn't sure about our compost. I wasn't sure if it was too hot or maybe didn't have the right stuff in it. I didn't know, and I still don't know. In my first little bed, I planted 2 little tiny rolls of corn, and we've already harvested the corn. It done really good. And I planted okra. As you can see, these are my okra plants. These are the heavy hitter okra from Baker Creek, and they've been putting on really good, and we really like them. Heavy hitter okra, I will definitely be planting again. I really liked it, and I want to try to pickle some okra next time. In my second bed, I planted some Yamato watermelons. That's one of the melons right there. I don't think it's ready yet. It's really small. I also planted some Sugar Babies watermelons. I believe this one might be ready because the vines on it, they're starting to die back. We will plant more watermelon next year. I just don't think we will grow this type. Like, I want a real traditional big watermelon. So maybe we can find something like that to grow next year. Also, in the same bed, I planted some sunflowers. It was just a mixed variety of sunflowers. They done really good. The one in the middle, it got really, really, really tall. Jeremy said he thinks it's about 15 feet tall, and I think that's crazy. I will for sure be planting sunflowers again next year, and I want to plant a lot more of them. Like, that was one of my favorite things to grow this year. In the end of this bed right here, this big mess, this is 6 tomato plants. These are Baker Creek's Amish paste tomatoes, and from the looks of them online, they look like almost kind of like a Roma tomato. We've only got maybe, I think it was 5 tomatoes off of these 6 plants. I don't know what I done wrong. I've never really planted tomatoes before, but they went wild, and they just keep growing tall, and they keep putting out branches, and they really don't put on very many tomatoes. I know I'm doing something wrong, so just not sure what. Better luck next time, I guess. Now, beside the big bush of tomatoes, well, not tomatoes, but tomato plants, I had planted some Taiwan yard-long beans. And as you can see, they are very long, and they done pretty good. But I will not be planting them next year. They do not taste good to me. If you let them grow, they will grow to be like a true yard-long length. We also trellised these beans with a cattle panel. We ran it from one raised bed to the next. In the next raised bed over here, we planted some Boston pickling cucumbers. Those seeds were also from Baker Creek. They done really good. I made a whole lot of pickles. Like I said, this is towards the end of August, and our cucumbers are about cucumbered out. These plants are still putting on cucumbers, but they're really, really funky shaped. And some of them are yellowed. And they're just not growing good, so I've decided to come out here and pull them up and give them to the goats for a little treat. They're not looking so hot right now. In the bed with the cucumbers, we planted some peppers. We have a couple different types. We planted some long red peppers. They've done really good, and they are really hot. I don't like hot peppers. And the first one that ripened up, it was bright red and it was so pretty hanging out here. And I made the mistake of eating it. Way under here, there's a pitiful bell pepper plant. It only put on one green bell pepper. And after that, it never put anything else on. I don't know why. I'm guessing it's probably because it was overcrowded, because I really shoved everything I could in these raised beds. We also have some little jalapeno plants. They're also hot, but these were actually given to me, so I grew them. And whenever I made some pickles in a couple jars, I threw a jalapeno or two in there. So I had some sweet and spicy pickles. I also planted some squash, and I planted these in tires. I know I probably shouldn't have done that, because I've heard that the tires can leak chemicals out into the dirt, and then like the plant can absorb them, and then when you eat the plant, then you're eating the chemicals. I don't know, but I ran out of stuff to plant in, so that was my only option. And these done pretty good. They're not looking too good right now, but they done better than expected. And I did overplant them. I planted them way too thick. So next year I'll know better. Yellow crookneck squash. I will be planting these again next year, and I'll be planting a lot more. And just like that, no more cucumbers. Here's my little pile. I'm going to carry these over to the goats here in a minute. And as I pulled the vines down, I looked for the best cucumbers, and I pulled them off, so I didn't really waste them. I'm going to be pulling these pepper plants up pretty soon, because I want to prepare these little garden beds for fall planting. I don't know what I'm going to plant over here yet. Haven't made my mind up. Come on, Kevin. Get you some salad too.